If by chance you've been watching Disney XD in the morning or afternoon with a nice bowl of cereal and your lucky spoon, you may have stumbled onto one of the greatest cartoon shows. With a good storyline and a variety of funny and weird characters that aided in the show's success is one of the main reasons I like the show. What show that is? I'm talking about Gravity Falls. Hello everyone, I'm Gumchew and this is Not a Rat. In today's video, I'm going to explain 5 reasons I don't like Dipper Pines and how he almost ruined everything. Gravity Falls has to be one of my favorite cartoon shows of the 2010s. I'm captivated by the storyline and the ominous lore that follows the show's theme. Each episode gave me more clues to the mysterious journal, and each character was able to develop right before our eyes. If that's the case, why am I making this video? Well, for once, in every show, no matter what it is, there's a character that you just can't seem to get. No matter how you try to see their point, it's just impossible for you to give them a chance. Maybe it's their character, or the way they speak, or the fact that they're an antagonist and you're not really supposed to like them anyway. Either way, they aren't one of your favorites, and that brings me to the character I don't like in Gravity Falls. Dipper Pines, the identical twin, is a short little weirdo with abnormal intelligence. That doesn't seem like an issue for anyone, but for me, it kind of does. Dipper is awkward, and that isn't a problem for a 12-year-old boy coming of age. However, because Dipper is smart and calculated, it makes his approach to situations a little weird. He seems to map out variables and equations in situations that are as simple as talking to a girl. This is an ideal trait of his considering it's a part of his character in the show and makes him relatable in some way. However, his mind is too vast and he doesn't have confidence and freedom like his counterpart, Mabel. It's okay to be weird or awkward, but it's important to know that sometimes it's better to go with the flow of things rather than analyzing it. Freezing up in a situation and reverting to science isn't the best strategy, but hey, it's him. Eager. Okay, so we figured out Dipper is smart and analytical, which can make him a little awkward in my book. But one thing I dislike about him amongst his awkwardness is his eagerness. Now, being eager isn't always a bad thing, because sometimes you can really be passionate about something and want to share with everyone. But in Dipper's case, his eagerness is somewhat hasty and makes him a liability. Let me explain. In Season 2, Episode 1, Scarioki, Dipper summons zombies. Well, there is more to the story, but I'm trying to explain how Dipper's eagerness got the best of him. By him trying so increasingly hard to prove the anomalies that plague Gravity Falls, he desperately summoned zombies that put him and his family in danger. Although he was able to prove to the agents of the strange things that happen in Gravity Falls, he has put himself in a real dangerous situation. This also shows Dipper's defiance against Stan, and how he seems to be the one that puts the family in danger the most. If Dipper would just listen to Stan at times, things would probably go smoother and less complicated than they are. I really don't like Dipper's eagerness because he talks too much and has inadvertently put the Pines family in a real pickle. Pessimist. Defiance seems to be prominent when Dipper engages with Stan, and in some ways, I can totally agree. However, I think because of the way Dipper tends to overthink things, it's more pessimistic than defiant. We all aware of how shady Stan is or has been during the show, but we also seen there is a bit of sacrifice he made for a greater cause. As shown in Season 2, Episode 11, Not What He Seems, shows how Dipper's pessimistic ways almost foiled Stan's plans of returning his twin brother, Ford. Think about it, Dipper was obsessed with the mystery of the journal and was even more shocked to find out Stan has been lying to them. His obnoxious way of thinking, complemented by his distrust of Stan, made him determined to unravel what Stan has been hiding. What made me dislike Dipper most in this episode is that after spending time with Stan over the summer, he couldn't put his pessimistic ways aside to just trust that Stan was in no way trying to harm anyone. What makes things even worse is if Mabel and Dipper's position was switched and he was in charge of pressing the button. If he had, Ford may have not returned from the dimension. I get Dipper is a motivated and driven character, and that aids in his unique character development. However, it seems he's too driven for his own good. This is why I feel he's a liability at times, and having that bull-headed nature is troublesome. But hey, I guess that's what made the show interesting. Cowardice. One cliche about nerds or intelligent people is that they are weak or physically limited at certain activities. That may sound weird in some ways, offensive, but society has shown its ugly side, not me. What I'm trying to say is, Dipper is somewhat a stereotype of the intelligent community. Listen, I accept that Dipper's character design is centered around him and his curious mind. However, I felt like they could have gave him a little bit more courage to balance out his cowardice. This isn't to say that Dipper isn't brave, it just shows that when things get a little tough, he seems to fold under pressure. I guess you can say this is when Stan's plan to make him tough comes in. A perfect example of Dipper's cowardice and bravery is Season 2 Episode 17, Dipper and Mabel versus the Future. While assisting and exploring some underground ruins with Great Uncle Ford, they encounter some dangerous machines. In the midst of the moment, while they were being attacked, Ford explained it was best to calm yourself so that the robots don't detect hostility. Boy, was that a bad idea. However, although Ford was captured due to Dipper's cowardice, he was also saved by Dipper's bravery. It's safe to say I don't like Dipper's cowardice because it seems to put him and the others around him in danger. Because of his indecisiveness in the heat of the moment, he lacks the courage and/or intellect to think things through. With his smarts, you would think he's capable of working under pressure. However, everyone has weaknesses and Dipper seems to be more on the emotional and physical side of things. Hey, I hope you are still around for the video, and I want to remind you that this video is in no way a hate video of any sort. If you are anything like me, I'm sure you have a few shows that you watch that have certain characters that you don't really vibe with. The only things different between you and me is I post mine on YouTube to give you a perspective or words that might help you voice your opinions. Although Dipper is weak, he's also very smart and determined, which can make for a more balanced character at the end of the day. If it wasn't for some of his blunders, we may have not gotten to see some of cool action scenes that show the brave side of him. Gravity Falls has been a really good show to watch in its time, and I was happy to be a part of the moment of tears and laughter. With that said, I hope you enjoyed the video and gotten to know Dipper a little bit more. I'm your host Gumchew, and this was Not a Rant.